Top advisors to both candidates are with us here this morning. We're going to start with Robert Gibbs, who's the senior advisor to the Obama campaign. Then we'll hear from Ed Gillespie, senior advisor to the Romney campaign. Mr. Gibbs, last week several Democrats weighed in and expressed really some dismay with the tone that the Obama campaign's attack ads have taken, particularly the ones attacking Mitt Romney's tenure at Bain Capital. We played a little of it in the beginning of the broadcast. But the Wall Street Journal reported yesterday the campaign would actually become more aggressive with these attacks. They seem to be buying more time to run these ads. Have you done some polling? Why so aggressive so soon?
Oh, Bob, I don't think you need polling to understand why people have a visceral reaction to Mitt Romney's time as head of Bain Capital. And let's be clear, this is the central and only point that Mitt Romney brings up that, in the words of his campaign, would make him an economic savior for this country. You saw that tape with some steel workers whose plant in Kansas City was loaded up with debt, jammed into bankruptcy. Mitt Romney and his investors walked away with tens of millions of dollars. And look, they were very good at that, making money for themselves and for the investors. But what Bain Capital never did was focus on job creation. That's not what Bain Capital does. It loads up companies with debt. It takes money out of those companies and pays those investors. It's not about job creation. And that's what Mitt Romney is running on. And look, we've seen this experiment in Massachusetts. He did the same thing when he ran in 2002 in Massachusetts and took that state's job creation numbers to 47th in the country. So we've seen this experiment. We've seen it in Massachusetts. Quite frankly, we saw it in 2007 and 2008, where we turned our economy over to speculators and it crashed on the middle class.
Why then are some Republicans seem to be so concerned about it? Like Cory Booker, the mayor of Newark. They say it's painting the president as being anti-business. I mean, Chuck Schumer and Senator Gillibrand, the two senators from New York, have declined to even comment on these ads.
Well, this has nothing to do with being anti-business. This is a criticism, and a good criticism, quite honestly, of Mitt Romney's only thesis for being president of the United States, that he's some kind of economic savior. He's very good at making money for his partners. He's not so good at creating jobs. We've seen that time and time again. And I think the American people and voters deserve to understand what Mitt Romney means when he says he has the keys to being an economic savior.
You know, one of the refreshing changes when the president was elected, he talked about hope and change. Whatever happened to hope and change? Now it seems he's just coming right out of the box with these old-fashioned negative ads that all campaigns seem to think are the basis of all campaigns.
No, Bob, look, there's going to be a choice in this election. Mitt Romney's been running for president for, many years of his life and been very critical of this president's tenure, of this president's policies. And we're certainly happy to talk a little bit about Mitt Romney and his record of not creating jobs in virtually every step of his life. That's what this campaign is going to be about. Are you going to be better? Who are you going to be better off with in the next 4 years? And I don't think there's any doubt that when this election is said and done, it will be close. But people of this country will reject the sort of speculation type economic gains that Mitt Romney is quite good at for himself and for his investors, and instead look for an economy that is growing, that is built to last, that continues the job creation that we've seen, and not, quite frankly, return to the failed policies of the past.
Let me read you something that Tom Friedman wrote in the New York Times this morning. He said, and I quote, "Barack Obama is a great orator, but he is the worst president I've ever seen when it comes to explaining his achievements, putting them in context, connecting with people on a gut level through repetition, and thereby defining how the public views an issue." Is he right about that?
No, I appreciate Mr. Friedman's free advice, but look, if you look at the ad that we've got running in battleground states right now, it talks about exactly what this president inherited and what he's achieved in saving an auto industry that Mitt Romney wanted to go bankrupt and have 1 million jobs leave with it, in creating 25 consecutive months of private sector job growth, making sure that financial reform is instituted so we don't go back to the time in which Wall Street was writing its own rules. All of those things, that's what Mitt Romney wants to do. Mitt Romney wants to go back to the failed economic policies of 2007 and 2008. Explode our debt with these huge tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires that didn't work the first time. That theory failed. It crashed right on the middle class. It was the worst economic crisis that I think most people in this country will ever live through. And Mitt Romney wants to use his speculation background at offshoring and outsourcing and go back to those times. And the American people don't want that.
Let me ask you this. What do you think will be the impact if the Supreme Court throws out the health care law?
You know, Bob, I don't know what the impact would be on either side of that. I think that if one listens to the full argument that was made in front of the Supreme Court, that they're likely to uphold the health care law. And I think it's important for millions of Americans who have things like pre-existing conditions, who now can get health insurance and can't be told by an insurance company that, for instance, they can't be covered because they have some sort of pre-existing condition.
All right, Mr. Gibbs, thank you.